Hello and welcome to my weather forecast. There's a lot to unpack here as we head into this morning, so let's get right into it. The Storm Prediction Center's marginal and slight risk zones for severe weather today will be across the southeast, across central Florida, also getting into eastern Georgia and southern South Carolina with a marginal risk across most of Georgia, eastern portions here of Alabama, much of the rest of Florida, much of the rest of South Carolina, and into South North Carolina. The tornado probabilities as we head into this afternoon will be 2%, so an isolated tornado is possible across portions here of southern and eastern Georgia, southern South Carolina, and across the east central Florida. The wind probabilities here follow the marginal risk and slight risk zones across those areas as well, and then the hail risk is significant as we head into central Florida where 2-inch or larger hailstones are possible. Hailstones of golf ball size or larger are definitely possible in those areas. And then we have a Storm Prediction Center Day 2 outlook. This is for tomorrow here. There's a slight risk of severe weather here across southern portions here of Oklahoma, getting into northeast Texas, down through much of Louisiana, and into southern Mississippi with a marginal risk zone around there, and lingering severe weather up into eastern portions there of Virginia, eastern North Carolina, and far northeastern South Carolina there, with general thunderstorm zones here around that. Tornado outlook tomorrow, mainly down toward New Orleans, Louisiana here, and getting down here into those areas here. I think that the tornado risk tomorrow is a little bit more significant than today, but a few tornadoes are possible today even, but I think tomorrow's risk is a little bit more heightened because we have winds coming in here at the surface out of the south-southeast, winds above coming out of the south-southwest, so a little bit of veering and a kind of the winds with height are changing direction here with height and speed. So a 5% area risk of tornadoes here around New Orleans tomorrow. The wind threat will be down there as well, also into the Carolinas and into the Virginia area, and then a little more heightened here in the southern portions of Oklahoma, getting into North Texas with a zone of some possible supercells producing here a little bit more of your sporadic wind damage. And then more of a hail threat here tomorrow with some of those storms, especially if they're elevated, but I think the storms tomorrow, a few of them will be surface rooted enough to produce some pretty decent hail, maybe up to 2 inches in diameter here if we can get some supercells going as well. Let's look at the high resolution here model. This is the dew point boundary layer dew points here temperatures. And this is actually here this morning, and dew points are actually rising here into the middle 50s across the area here across Florida, mid 60 dew points across Florida, a lot of juice for these storms to work with. And then here the dew points will start mixing out a little bit here as the storm system pulls offshore here, the eastern part of Florida, and dew points, relatively speaking, around most of the south and southeast will then be in the low to mid 50s here around then. And then the next storm system moving in here, you can see the dew points will rise once again here across Texas into Louisiana into the middle 60s, maybe some upper 60s down across southeastern Texas, feeding in here, giving a lot of instability, a lot of juice for these storms to work with. And then as the cold front pushes through, we'll see a sharp cutoff between, low to mid 60 dew points getting back into the 40s, 30s, and 40s. So a lot of here, more powerful, more potent cold front pushing through as we head. This is into our Friday here. So you want to be mindful of that as the severe weather will be kind of traveling along that and ahead of that front. Also here regarding the instability here, today's instability values here around probably 1,000, 1,500 across especially central Florida, getting up into southern Georgia and here portions here in surrounding states. I think the highest instability will be across central Florida with that slight risk zone and getting up into portions here of southeastern Georgia. And then that will, like I said, mix out here as the storm system pulls offshore. Some lingering instability across southern Florida could give them a little bit here of some stronger thunderstorms as we head potentially into tonight. But I think the risk for severe weather, mainly the more intense severe weather, will kind of end by then. And then we'll quiet down for the south here as we head into most of our Thursday. And then here comes Thursday night. We got some instability pooling along and ahead of that cold front here into Texas, getting up into southeastern Oklahoma, much of Louisiana. Instability values will probably be climbing on the order of 1,000 to perhaps getting as high as 2,000 joules per kilogram, so higher than we've had most of the year. And this will kind of translate eastward here into Louisiana, Arkansas, portions of southeastern Texas here from Houston, getting up towards Shreveport, getting up towards maybe as far north here as Little Rock or portions of the surrounding areas there. And then the instability will start to kind of wane as we head through the day on Friday here as the storm system kind of pulls out. But don't think that just because the instability lowers on Friday, there's going to be a lot of wind shear here in the atmosphere. So that kind of makes up the lack of that instability sometimes. And some big thunderstorms are possible, especially here even on Friday. So we'll have to watch that as we head into that time frame. And then let's put it all together with the wind shear here. You can see the wind today, the wind shear not as strong here, just a couple kind of areas, winds coming out of the west-southwest here in Florida aloft, and then you can see here at the surface winds are coming more out of the west-southwest as well. So not a ton of wind shear, not a lot of spin in the atmosphere, but just enough to where there's a potential for an isolated tornado or two here across central Florida, getting up here into portions of southeastern Georgia here as we head into the day today. Now you can see, let's go back here to the wind aloft, and you can see as we head into our Thursday, the winds here, this is 1 p.m. in the afternoon, winds will be straight out of the south here in Texas and Oklahoma and portions of Louisiana, and this will feed in all the boundary layer dew points, be rising into the middle and upper 60s. Temperatures will be rising well into the 70s here, and we will have a lot of warm air to work with these thunderstorms, and this will just continue moving eastward here. Winds will be screaming out of the south here. Gusts could be approaching 40 miles per hour here, transporting that warm air and even into the evening hours. So definitely be mindful of that. And this will kind of continue to move east. Winds will increase even more. We could have some of these winds being tapped down to the surface here around 40 miles an hour with gusts kind of out of the south and west as the storm really moves in. And then with the winds a few thousand feet up here out of the south and west, you can see here at the surface winds will be coming more here out of the southeast. So the lot more turning of the winds with height. So that does concern me for supercellular structure here with some of these storms, which could spin up a few tornadoes. And one of these tornadoes tomorrow, as we head into our Thursday night, could be strong. I mean, I'm not discounting that, and I think the tornado risk will be more heightened across portions here of southern Louisiana, like I said, around the New Orleans region, with winds coming more out of the south-southeast, winds aloft coming more out of the south and west, and that gives you a lot here more of rolling motion in the atmosphere to produce a few tornadoes, and one of those could be strong, so we'll have to watch that, especially with all the ingredients coming together. If they do come together right, a strong tornado is definitely possible here across that southern Louisiana area, so do be mindful of that. Now, putting it all together here with the forecasted high-resolution model future radar, you can see a few thunderstorms here across portions of southern Louisiana, the South Carolina region, rather, and into western portions here of North Carolina, getting into southeastern Georgia. And a few of those storms could be severe. More thunderstorms developing. This is 6 p.m. here this evening into Georgia, around the Atlanta area, getting down towards here, a few more thunderstorms developing in South Carolina, around, Columbia, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, getting down toward Charleston, a few isolated storms. And these could be discrete. A couple of these could produce tornadoes here, so do be mindful of that. I think the stronger storms, if they do develop, will be across central Florida. This high-resolution model isn't really showing a lot of thunderstorm activity developing Florida, but if they do, it'll be discrete, and a couple of these could produce a tornado or two, so do be mindful of that. Also some wind damage potential with gusts that could be up to 70 miles per hour, and also some very large hail across central Florida here with the Storm Prediction Center's day one outlook of 2-inch or larger hail, golf ball size or larger, definitely possible across those areas. Then as we progress along here, the storms will move out, fade away, and then we'll be quiet here for most of our Thursday morning. And then our next storm system comes in from the west, and we have a cold front developing here into central Texas, and this is 6 p.m. as on our Thursday, and we got some storms firing, getting up and going here around southeastern southeastern Oklahoma, getting down into Texas, a couple thunderstorms developing, and then they'll kind of develop even more as we head into the 11 o'clock hour. Strong low-level jet will be moving in here overhead, and then these storms will be tapping into that here. So a line of thunderstorms, or at least a broken line, could be developing and pushing eastward across Louisiana, Arkansas, Little Rock around 11 o'clock. Could have some stronger thunderstorms there. And then these storms will continue pushing east. More storms will develop here as we head down toward Louisiana. Got to watch a few of these for tornado potential here, as some of these could spin up some tornadoes, especially on the southern flank of this line. But a broken line, or at least potentially a solid line, can develop here of severe weather, and this will include much of Mississippi, getting down especially here into southern Mississippi and then southern Louisiana, with some damaging winds of 60 to 70 plus miles an hour, a few tornadoes, especially across southern Louisiana, and some very large hail, which could be up to around golf ball size, maybe even a little larger than that in some of these supercells if they can develop in southern Louisiana. Then these storms will be moving eastward. Very strong storms, very heavy rain across portions here of southern Mississippi, getting into western Alabama. This is 6 a.m. on our Friday, and storms are still ongoing. Potentially some ongoing severe weather here, even into the overnight hours, with the low-level jets feeding into these storms. So do be mindful of that here across Alabama, even into the panhandle of Florida. And then these storms will continue just moving across Alabama through the day. Some strong wind gusts, some smaller hail with these storms. Maybe a spin-up tornado here cannot be ruled out. This is 10 a.m. on our Friday. Some very heavy rain. And the southern edge of this line doesn't move very fast, so a lot of rainfall potential across southern and southeastern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and southern Alabama. So that'll be concerning in itself, with some flash flooding potential, and then some more thunderstorms developing maybe across Alabama, some discrete storms. Those will be post-frontal. I don't think those will be as strong, but we'll have to watch those. That's 3 o'clock in the afternoon here on Friday. And then portions of southwestern Georgia into northwestern Florida panhandle, some thunderstorms on our Friday afternoon. Peak heating, got to watch those. Those could be strong and produce a couple tornadoes there as well. And then that will march itself off the East Coast here as we head into Friday evening. More of the stratiform rainfall here up with this new storm system here on the northern side of it here. A lot of stratiform rain across eastern Kansas, much of Missouri, getting into Iowa, northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin. A lot of much needed rain up there. A few areas in drought up around this area, so that will be helpful. Even some snow showers here breaking out across portions here of southern and central Wisconsin, getting up into northern Michigan, into the UP of Michigan, and producing maybe an inch or two of snow up in those areas from central Wisconsin up into northern Michigan here, mainly on grassy surfaces, but we'll fine-tune that here in the coming days. Rain will continue across eastern Iowa, northeast Missouri, north central Illinois, and getting into Indiana, Ohio, with some stratiform rain here, maybe a few rumbles of thunder with this storm system, but just a steady light to moderate rain, and that will add up. Some of these areas could see rainfall amounts of around an inch to an inch and a quarter once all is said and done. So some much needed rainfall and much needed soaking of rain in some of these areas, especially in northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, getting down into Missouri for the drought concerns they have there, with moderate and maybe some areas of severe drought here still ongoing there across those areas. Also, be mindful that I have another video as we head into tomorrow regarding severe weather as we head later this week, and I am getting a little bit more concerned about a severe weather potential into early next week. The Storm Prediction Center's 4 to 8 day outlook already has slight risk zones for our Monday and Tuesday as we head into the following week, and that could spell our first very big major severe weather outbreak across the south here, across Texas, getting into portions here of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. So we're definitely going to have to watch that into next week, as I think the ingredients are coming together for a potential tornado outbreak here as we head into next week. So we'll fine tune that here as we get a little bit closer, but I just wanted to bring that up, that as we flip the script here into next week, a tornado outbreak, some of those ingredients are coming together here for that. So I did want to give you a little bit of a heads up on that. I'll cover that in my video later this week, but for now I wanted to give you the severe weather potential for today and tomorrow, and also look at here the rainfall across here the northern side of this system here across the Midwest. as we head into our Friday into Saturday. So thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe to my channel and like my video, and I will also be available to answer any comments if you have any comments on any of the weather that I had on my feed today. But I appreciate you watching, and thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.